This is how I make my G-scale track, by nailing brass rail onto treated pine timber sleepers. I use lattice timber, I cut it into 3 strips lengthways and cut it into 95mm lengths so that you get sleeper lengths about 10mm wide and 8mm thick. Then I mark the 4 holes for the nails on the sleeper by pressing it onto a jig that I've made, which is just 4 nails in the right place, so that you get indentations on each sleeper. I just use normal steel nails, plated, 15mm long, no special track spikes, 4 in each sleeper. Hammer them in so there's about 3mm left on the top that you can bend over the foot of the rail, and that means there's about 3mm goes through the bottom of the sleeper. So I have to bend that over with a pair of pliers, and that stops the nails pulling out when I crimp them over the rail. So this is what the sleepers look like from the bottom side, bent over, and protruding from the top that I can clip the rail between. Now I make my own rail joiners from bits of inch-wide brass strip, thin strip, cut it into 16mm lengths that bend over the rail. I just use a bit of scrap rail in a vise, bend a bit of brass over it. Just takes a few seconds and far cheaper than buying off the shelf ones. Bend all my rail by hand, just using a couple of thumbs and a bit of pressure, not bending it too much each time, going over and over it again. Then you can get a good smooth flowing curve. Here I'm building track to fit on some existing, to replace some existing track. Once I've bent the 2 rails, we can start clipping on the sleepers. And this just uses a pair of pincers to squeeze the top of the nails over the foot of the rail. Quite simple to do, quite quick. I usually fit about every 3rd or 4th sleeper to start with. Hold both rails together. Shows the pincers. Once I have a few sleepers along the whole 6 foot length of the rail, I lift it off the track and put it onto a flat surface, which makes it a whole lot easier to clip it over and to hold the track flat. And then it's just repeat over and over again, crimping the nails over. And here's what the finished track looks like. The nails rust pretty quickly, so I have tried painting each nail with a bit of waterproof PVA glue, but I'm not sure it's really helpful. But it does hold the sleepers more tightly against the rail. And here's some of the old track just to show what it looks like after a few years out in the rain.